So we might actually be living in the Twilight Zone because I woke up, checked Twitter, and I found a tweet from Donald Trump, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, that actually kind of warmed my cynical liberal heart. He went after the Koch brothers, and he went after them kind of hard. So he states, the globalist Koch brothers, who have become a total joke in real Republican circles, are against strong borders and powerful trade. I never sought their support because I don't need their money or bad ideas. They love my tax and regulation cuts, judicial picks, and more. I made them richer. Their network is highly overrated. I have beaten them at every turn. They want to protect their companies outside the US from being taxed. I'm for America first and the American worker. A puppet for no one. Two nice guys with bad ideas. Make America great again. Wow. Now, would I have preferred for him to attack the Koch brothers from the left rather than attacking them from the right? Sure, but, I'm a reasonable guy. I'll take any attack on the Koch brothers. So this was seemingly out of nowhere, because if he was going to attack anybody, I wouldn't have expected him to attack the Koch brothers in such a direct way, really name-dropping them, because what he's doing here is he's kind of biting the hands that feed the Republican Party. Without the Koch brothers, they lose millions of dollars every election cycle. So for him to attack them, I love it. Now, there's some truth to what he's saying when he states that he made the Koch brothers richer with his tax plan. Because look, he's been trying to push his tax scam as a working class tax cut, but he finally came out and admitted in an attack against the Koch brothers that he made the rich richer. So when it comes to the Koch brothers, the International Business Times actually crunched the numbers and found out just how much richer Donald Trump is making them every single year. And it's pretty significant. So as Alex Koch explains, a new analysis has found that political megadonors Charles and David Koch and or the businesses they operate could make between $1 billion and $1.4 billion more each year, thanks to the tax breaks and legislation passed in December by Republican members of Congress. The two brothers are currently worth a combined $104.4 billion. Nonpartisan tax experts concluded that the bill, which lowers income taxes, corporate taxes, and offers numerous special interest tax breaks, offers the majority of the gains to America's wealthiest individuals. The top 1% of Americans will get 83% of the tax benefits in 2027. So Donald Trump passes these tax cuts, which makes the Koch brothers a lot richer, and now he's attacking them. So why is it that he suddenly turned against the Koch brothers? Well, I don't know. I can only speculate, but basically, it seems as though the Koch brothers are kind of turning against Republicans. Maybe. So there's a new article out by Slate that explains how Charles Koch recently indicated that he could potentially be willing to work with Democrats if, quote, ideals align. So the article states, billionaire Charles Koch says he and his network of big political donors don't want to be automatically associated with the Republican Party anymore. In a rare on-the-record interview with reporters, Koch said he would be happy to work with Democrats if they share the same values. Quote, I don't care what initials are in front or after somebody's name. I'd like there to be many more politicians who would embrace and have the courage to run on a platform that aligns with his values, Koch said. The industrialist seemed to suggest the conservative network he leads could be a bit more strict about where it puts its cash, noting that he regrets supporting some politicians who didn't come through with their promises. They say they're going to be for these principles that we espouse, and then they aren't, Koch said. We're going to more directly deal with that and hold people responsible for these commitments. Now, what is he talking about specifically when it says that he contributes to politicians who don't end up following through on the promises they made? Well, recently, there was an article that came out in the Wall Street Journal that states Koch network criticizes Trump trade policy at donor meeting. Charles Koch warns against protectionism in video shown at 3-day gathering in Colorado Springs. So we're kind of getting a little bit closer as to what might be fueling Donald Trump's sudden, hatred, you could say, of the Koch brothers. Certainly, he doesn't like being criticized by the Koch brothers, but think about really how nervy the Koch brothers are. He, at least Charles Koch, anyways, is saying he might be willing to buy off Democratic Party politicians if their ideals align. Now, what's he saying here? He's saying, if you can make me some promises and actually give me policy concessions, then I'd be willing to donate to you instead of Republicans. So if the Koch brothers are vocalizing their disagreements with Donald Trump's administration and also considering openly switching teams here, then Donald Trump probably doesn't like that. So he decided to lash out against them on Twitter. Now, here's what I'm curious about. How will Democrats respond to Charles Koch's offer? Are they going to basically tell the Kochs to take that money and shove it up their asses? Or will they welcome the Koch brothers with open arms and say, well, welcome, Charles and David, you're now part of the resistance? It wouldn't surprise me if Democrats did, in fact, embrace the Koch brothers, because that's how far they've fallen, and they know that they need money to defeat Republicans, so this is one of many avenues they can take to actually potentially win back Congress and beat Donald Trump. But really, what they don't realize is that if they did embrace the Koch brothers, I'm not saying that they will, I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but if they become even more corrupt and beholden to corporate interests and the millionaire and billionaire class, that's going to hurt their chances. Because working class voters, who you're supposed to be looking out for, Democrats, they're not going to come out and vote for you if you're doing the bidding of someone like the Koch brothers, Charles and David Koch. Get the fuck out of here. But getting back to the original point of this segment, Donald Trump's attack on the Koch brothers, it made me very happy to see that. Because if anybody needs to be called out, it's the Koch brothers. They've gotten away with buying off politicians, funneling millions of dollars into all of our elections, and it's unacceptable. No millionaire or billionaire should be buying off politicians, but they've basically made this an art, and they've gotten so many policy concessions that spending millions of dollars, it's just the drop in the bucket to them, because they end up getting that money back in the form of policy concessions. They end up making more money in return. That donation to politicians is an investment, and they absolutely are seeing huge returns, which is why they continue to buy politicians. So I like that Donald Trump is doing something that will create a wedge between the Republican Party and the Koch brothers. I wish that he would be more critical of individuals like Sheldon Adelson. I would love to see an attack on Sheldon soon. But really, I don't want Trump's attack on the Koch brothers to drive them to the Democratic Party. I want his attack on the Koch brothers to drive them the fuck out of politics altogether. So, it's been a while since Donald Trump has said anything that even made me slightly satisfied, but when I saw this, I'm not gonna lie, there's a pretty big smile on my face, because these are really egregious individuals, and even if Donald Trump is also a political goon himself, to see these assholes all turn on each other, I fucking love it.
Support this podcast by becoming a patron at patreon.com/Humanist Report.